Hey guys, Brandon here with Texas Plinking, making another video. In case you guys did not see the last video, it was the sub $1,000 recce rifle build. In the beginning of that video, I mentioned that at the moment in Central Texas, it is just too hot to shoot, among other variables, to where I thought I would at least attempt to start making the talking portions and like the analytical part of the review indoors. That way I'm a little bit more comfortable and I don't forget anything, because the very beginning of this channel, before it blew up, it was really tabletop oriented, and I kind of gone away from that, thankfully, because it was a little boring. But I want to mix the two. You know, I want to do the tabletop analytical stuff, talk about some features, whether you're interested in this rifle right now or you guys are just wanting to watch some fun gun content. I want it to be enjoyable for both of those kind of different viewers, because in this video, of course, we are also going to go to the range and shoot this thing long range. So it's all going to be in one video. It's just at the moment, I think it'd just be a little bit better to watch this than me trying to talk over the loud locust and sweating and you know, all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do the studio setup until the weather cools down, or if you guys like it, feel free to let me know. As you can tell, I'm wearing the same clothing from the last video because I'm shooting both of them in one day, so it's actually a little bit more efficient that way as well. With all that unnecessary background information out of the way, I think we could go ahead and get into it. So, long range, guys, it's a subject I love. It's a subject I neglected for a little bit, and I'm very happy to get back into it. So this rifle build actually had a bit of a purpose behind it. I'm not going to call this rifle setup cheap by any means, because it is not. In fact, everything you're looking on this table here is a hair over everything, as you see it, street price, is a hair over $2,000. For anything, that's not a small amount of money, but in the realm of long range shooting, that is not bad at all. There are certain rifles alone. In fact, I'll take that a step further. There are certain chassis systems that go for $2,000, okay? Some more. There are rifle and barreled actions that go for over $2,000. There are optics that go for over $4,000. This buttstock to muzzle and everything in between is a ready to rock and roll, show up to the long range bay, look like you know what you're doing, have a good time, don't feel like you cheaped out, and we're just about 2,000 bucks. You can strip things here and there as you wish to make it even less, but I really like the way this thing came to be, so I actually had this in my head conceived very similarly to this before I ever had anything coming my way. I have some long range rifles. If you guys see me on Instagram, you guys have seen those before. I made a couple videos with them here on the channel. I need to make new ones because it's been a while on those same rifles, but I have rifles where the whole setup, just holding it, it's like $5,000 in my hands, and that is a bit excessive, and that's not, you know, realistic for anyone that's getting into it. For some it is, but for some people they don't want to justify, or they can't justify doing that if they don't know if they're gonna like it or not. On the flip side of that though, I've always been scared that some people try to get too economical and they kind of scare themselves out. Not scare themselves out, but they kind of tire out of long range shooting sooner than they would if they had just got better equipment. It's kind of like, if you don't know if you want to get into fishing, you don't need to spend the money on really expensive, you know, carbon fiber poles and all that stuff. But you also don't need to get the kid fishing set either for like $19.99, okay, because you're not going to have a good time. That's a very crappy way of putting it, but it's very much so true. All right, so I didn't realize it kind of took a while to get it here, but let's piece it apart here. This is a Howa Bravo, which is their Howa 1500 in a Krg Bravo chassis system. And I'll just kind of make it really quickly. We'll dive into detail a little bit later. Topping it with glass is a Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 5-25 by 50. This has got the new EBR 7C reticle in MRAD. Let's go ahead and piece this review in 4 different ways. We're going to talk about the 1500, the Krg Bravo, the scope, and then we're going to go ahead and shoot it and show what it can do. Full disclosure, at this point I have not shot with a Howa 1500. I will tomorrow, which is of course all going to be in this video. But for my first impressions, kind of playing with this, and from what I've heard, certainly it's fantastic. It's a Japanese action that seems to be very, very reliable and super accurate as well. I'll kind of tell you my first impressions and just kind of ergonomics of stuff that I figured with this thing right away from just playing around with it. The bolt itself, 2-lug bolt. Go ahead and put it up here, and right when it clears this, it's like under like spring tension almost, to where it jumps out at you. Very, very nice and affirmative. Again, I'll do that right here. Very nice. So go ahead and cycle it. And then we have our safety right here. All the way back is the full safety. The 2-stage trigger can still be activated here, but it won't go off. And the bolt is locked. Put it in the middle. Now it is on the trigger safety to where you can go ahead and do that, and the bolt can still be activated though. All the way forward, of course, making sure we are clear. All the way forward, we have our 2-stage trigger right here. And by the way, right now I guess is a good time to mention trigger impressions. I'm not used to 2-stage on a bolt action, but I like it quite a bit actually. Hits a very nice definitive wall right here, and I don't have anything to weigh it, but if I had to guess, probably 3.5 pounds, something like that. So not bad, maybe 3.5, maybe a little more. Let's call it 3.5, but I'm not totally sure. I don't know what they rated at. Moving on from that, let's talk about the Krg Bravo chassis itself, how the Howa Bravo kind of came to be. So Howa partnered with Krg, the people who make this chassis stock system. I don't know if I want to call it a chassis or a stock. It's a really cool cross between the two. But it's a very economical chassis that you could get on its own. But like I said, Howa kind of partnered with them. I think it's pretty cool that they did that. So as this goes, this is now called the Howa Bravo, and it's available in 6mm Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, and 308. You could get a 20-inch, 24-inch, or 26-inch barrel, all of it threaded 5/8 by 24. On top of that, you get your choice from Howa, whether you want your Krg Bravo to be in FDE or in black. I like the look of the FDE actually quite a bit. One thing worth mentioning for sure though is if you guys are looking at piecing together this exact build right here or one similar to it, or looking into a 1500, it does not come with the top rail here, the piece that mounts from the action to the your scope rings. This rail is not included. And one thing I thought it would be able to take Remington 700 short actions. From a quick Google search, I found out that is not correct. However, rails for this are not expensive. I actually found this one right here, which is made by Outer Impact for about 45 bucks on Amazon, free shipping, and it came with all the screws. So went ahead, put a little bit of Loctite on there, screwed it on there, torqued it down, and that's, so that solves that for 45 bucks. On the flip side of that, what it does include, and very nice that it does, Krg Bravo chassis take AICS or Accuracy International Chassis System magazines, and that's really cool, but they can run for quite a bit of money. This is not an AICS mag, it's compatible though, of course, but this is an MDT mag for 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor. These mags alone go for a pretty penny. I'm thinking at least like 60 bucks, probably upwards of like 70, 80. AICS mags are more like 110. But that's a pretty good amount to spend on a mag, and it comes with that, which is very, very nice. Speaking of the mag, I don't know if you guys saw me press the ambidextrous mag release. That's pressing forward on here, and that will release. I like that because, and one kind of smart thing with the Bravo chassis in general is, let's say I'm kind of like, I'm not using the bipod, I'm putting this on something and I'm leaning forward, kind of leaning into the shot. It will rest right here. It's a nice resting point, so you can get some nice stabilization, which is very nice. And this right here needs to be pressed this way, so you're never going to accidentally, kind of push the gun into the mag release. It's way out here and it has to be pushed the other way. I like that. I thought that was worth mentioning. Real quickly, a couple other little features to run through with the Krg Bravo. Out of the box, it comes with some of these little spacer pads here, so you can adjust your length of pull. After kind of trial and error here and there, I thought that one of these spacers was good, but it comes with quite a bit, so you could really manipulate that and change it, make it exactly how you need it. Another thing is you could go ahead and loosen this, raise and lower your comb height. I'm not going to do that to demonstrate because I found this right here to be perfect. But yeah, so that's really, really nice. Underneath right here, you actually have, just like on most ARs, pistol grips and everything, like the Magpul ones, you can have your storage space right here. They figured, why not? It's hollow here. You could put like a dope card or something like that, or some cleaning, some tools, whatever you want. Another cool thing about the Krg Bravo though is it's got this cutout right here. I don't know if you guys can see that line with, I think it's an Allen key. Yeah, an Allen screw. You can actually totally remove this piece. The reason you might want to do that is so you can kind of, let's just pretend this is a sandbag right here. I use sandbags or like socks filled with rice or something like that, just to kind of like raise and lower the back buttstock here. But if you wanted to cut this out, that way you can have a thicker sandbag or something like that, just to have that option. That's really, really cool, really well thought out as well. Out of the box, it came with these QD Sling swivel points, the flush cups. You could go ahead and throw that to the other side if you wish. I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they threw in. You also have ports to put in your M-lock accessories if you want to run a rail or something like that on this side, on the bottom. So that's it for the rifle itself. In short, I think it's feature rich. I think it looks great, and as we'll find out soon here, it should be able to perform really well as well. Howa actually guarantees a 1 MOA grouping with match ammunition. With all that said, the price kind of surprised me with this. It actually retails for $1,279. Let's just call it, $1,280. That on its own right is pretty respectable, but that is the retail price. The street price is actually cheaper than that. You can expect to pay about $1,000. However, I was on Gunbroker just for fun right before filming this, just looking at new models, seeing what they're going for. Cheapest I found was actually $900 ready to go. That was not a bid, that was buy now. So let's go ahead and call that between $900 to $1,000. So that's a great value proposition for sure, and that actually saved you some money. If $1,000 for the rifle was kind of your budget, then in there you could also afford to have the $45 rail and then get a bipod. This bipod's a little bit more on the expensive end. I would 110% recommend it though. It is a Harris Engineering 6 to 9 inch swivel bipod. You can get that for about 90 bucks or so on Optics Planet. They are pretty penny. I know it's kind of tempting to get like a $20 bipod instead. I have plenty of $20 bipods on the more budget oriented builds, but in the realm of long range, you definitely want to get like a swivel Harris. I won't go ahead and talk about that too long. One thing I have to mention and definitely give some time to and subject is your glass, your rifle scope. That is one thing. You guys are getting tired of me because I say it in every video. The rifle scope you do not want to shortchange at all. The rule of thumb that, you know, is not totally true, but the rule of thumb usually is whatever the cost of the rifle is, it's not, you know, out of this world to spend more than that on the scope. And I 110% agree with that. In some cases, you know, there's really, really great value propositions out there that, you know, is otherwise. But without beating around the bush too much, let's just get right into it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is the new or fairly new Gen 2 of the Viper PST. It's now a 5 to 25 by 50 versus the previous one was a 6 to 24 by 50. I won't go into all the details that make the Gen 1 different than the Gen 2. A couple big ones though is the magnification range. You get one more on the bottom end, one more on the top end. Other than that, all the tactility just got way better. Before, to set the zero stop on the Gen 1, you had to get like those little shims, kind of a pain in the butt. Now they have a much better system. So with that said, it is the zero stop, zero reset. This is a 30 millimeter tube, like I said, 50 millimeter bell. This, you have the option on getting the EBR2C or the EBR7C, which is new. Both of those can be had in MOA or MRAD. This one particularly is the MRAD of the EBR7C. They only recently started offering this scope with that reticle, and what a combination it is. Like I said, I haven't shot through it yet. I'm just looking at it, and it's super cool. A lot of bullet drop compensation, a lot of windage compensation. It's a very well thought out reticle. I'm absolutely in love with it. The center dot is just so fine. First focal plane or second focal plane. This is a first focal plane. So the price kind of varies with which one you get. This one in particular is the cream of the crop as far as how this scope can get, and it's under $1,000. So that's huge to me. When I say that, you're talking $999.99. Okay, that is the street price. That is the MSRP, and at the moment, I think that is unbelievable value. Just looking through it briefly at all magnification ranges, the glass quality, the color rendition, everything. I'm actually really blown away by it. I would expect a scope like this to cost a bit more. That just kind of shows you where everything's going nowadays. Things are certainly getting more obtainable. So this is big time, honestly. So let's run through some other features just since we're here. You have your parallax adjustment on the side, adjusts very, very fine. It's very black and white, more or less. It's either in focus or it's not. It's pretty easy to see that, which is nice. Windage, really nice and tactile. Elevation, can you guys hear that? Super clean though. I mean, this feels like I've had more expensive scopes in the past. Let's just put it that way. ATACR, and it feels just like that. I'm not gonna lie, the turrets are just so good. So I like it. We have, like I said, our parallax here, and then integrated nice and sleek on the left of that is the illumination. 1 to 10 on the illumination with an off in between each setting, so that's nice. So if you found your favorite setting, for me anyway, I like to keep it right in between 1 and 10 because just in case I need something really low or really high, I have the option right there between one click. But let's just say 7's your favorite, go ahead and keep it there on the off, and you know, so I don't have to go too far into why there's a benefit to having an off in between each one, but it's certainly appreciated, that's for sure. It comes with the battery, comes with the sunshade, comes with like a little, you know, bikini cover, scope cover things, but you know, eventually I'd like to get some flip ups. I've said this plenty of times before, and I'm gonna keep on saying it, but you don't want to spend $1,000 on a rifle, $1,000 on a scope, and then cheap out in between the pieces that connect them. Again, that said, you don't have to invest a whole lot of money. These are actually really great options from Vortex as well. This is their Pro Series, 30 millimeter rings. The height on this one, I'm gonna have to check. I think this one was an inch. Yeah, this is their 1 inch rings, which works. You wouldn't want to do that with an AR. just because the objective lens would sit lower. But because this is elevated, obviously on a bolt action, 1 inch seems to be perfect. And so now we have this thing that came together with great components for just under, I'm talking again, the street price here, for just under $2,000. That's pretty great. Of course, you would need a bipod. So I'm just gonna go ahead and price this together with the Harris. So with that said, we're now at a total of about $2,085. I said this in the recce build as well. Keep going back to that video, but anyway, I have a muzzle brake on here. I won't include it with the price of this build just because it's proprietary to what I need, because I want to run my AAC SDN6. So if you wanted to get a muzzle brake, if you're going to be running, 6mm and 6.5, just don't kick that much. But if you can make it even flatter shooting, it's really nice. You can trace your shots, see your misses. If you wanted to get a 308 version of this, the rifle doesn't weigh a whole lot, so it might be wise to get a muzzle brake. If you just got a pure muzzle brake for these thread pitches, you could get a good one for like 40 or 50 bucks. But because this one has the 51T ratchet system to take my suppressor, and it's proprietary, AAC charges like 120, 130 bucks for this one, so that's what I had to pay. But this will help with some recoil reduction, but also give me the ability to run it suppressed in this video, so that way we could be tactical and look cool. I know that's what gets the views. Talk about ammunition right quick though. I think for the groups, I'm gonna try to do some, well, both, but Hornady 140 grain 6.5 Creedmoor ELD match. And then, so that's again, match ammunition, cost a little bit more than this guy, but this shoots great too. This is Hornady American Gunner 140 grain, boat to hollow point. That shoots fantastic. I've just been thrilled with that ever since I've been shooting 6.5 Creedmoor. But we're gonna run it both, see what happens. So let's go ahead and jump to that footage. Hey guys, so we're out here for the shooting portion of the video, and if you guys didn't see the last video I did with the recce build, same deal. So separating the videos out between the indoor talking portion and outdoor, but I wanted to do some, record the sight-in and some 5-round groupings. It is just way too hot out here today, and we're just not well set up for it, so I don't think I would be able to do the rifle any justice. With that said, probably later, and in the not too distant future anyway, and I'll definitely update everyone on Instagram and everything, I will do standardized groupings with this thing, and definitely more extended long range shooting. But it's just so hot out today to where my tolerance is a bit short, and my shooting is just not going to be as good. So I don't want to misrepresent the rifles for sure. But nonetheless, we are going to shoot 455 and 686 yards. I should be good enough to do that, hopefully. Already did the zero reset and stop and everything on the PST Gen 2. So with all that said, let's get the parallax out to 450. And we're just going to be shooting the American Gunner 140 grains. In another video too, guys, like I hate to disappoint you guys here, but we will do groupings, extended long range further than today, and we're gonna do a lot of suppressed shooting and all that kind of stuff too. And it is so hot, I even have to put this on my elbow on the shooting mat. It's just one of those brutal days. All right, so I wanted to be running the Tacticam, but unfortunately right now, it changes my eye relief so much to where I'm just raccooning myself in the eye. I need to be pressed up on this a little bit more. So let's just go ahead and take it off for ease of use. I'll tell you what, I think at this range, this cartridge is just a bit wasted. So I'd rather spend some more time trying to shoot the 686 with the 6.5. So let's go ahead and just skip to that. I love shooting, y'all, but it's just too damn hot. Let's see if we can't get some early hits. By the way, the sight picture is just so good in this reticle. I mean, I'm only at 12 power and at 686 yards. With this heat, it's just kind of bucking the Mirage pretty darn well right now. I think 12 power is all I'm going to need really right now. All right, quite a bit to the right. I'm going to dial 1.5 to the left. Some wind out there, I guess.
Ooh, I think that's just a bit low. Came up 0.2. All right, let's just keep it there. All right, that was about, what, 6 or 7 in a row there. And once I got it finally dialed in, as you guys can see, it looks like I just went into a pool. I'm sweating so much, got sweat in my eyes, so all that salt's not really making this easier. The barrel's piping hot. Those are the first rounds down the tube of this thing, actually, other than the side end that were off camera. This thing's now got a round count total of about 60 or 50 or less, actually. So it's not even going through its barrel break-in process yet. I'm gonna go home, clean it pretty good. But with that considered, we only have 686 yards to play with, but it kind of showed you the effectiveness of it. Like I said, I wanted the shooting portion to be a little longer, but with this heat, I'm just gonna have to separate the videos. Plus, it'll probably be too long of a video, but very, very soon, I'm going to show you guys this again, shooting even further, and definitely groupings. But right away, that's kind of a first taste and look at it. Hope you guys enjoy, and hope you guys look forward to the content to come with it. But yeah, that'll just about do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Yeah, I am done working today, dude. Holy hell.